So I've got a story for you. Some friends and I decided that we would escape Seattle during these cold, dark, and rainy winter months. And we got on a plane and flew to Italy. We had a whole plan there, but we started off in Napoli. And it was not what we were expecting. I mean, I like a gritty, grungy city, but I mean, what is... Yeah. So we bounced off of Napoli pretty hard, but that's okay because we jumped on a boat to Sorrento, which had a much more chill and relaxing environment. There we picked up a couple scooters and we were ready to start the actual purpose of the journey, to ride scooters along the Amalfi coast. And it was everything I expected it to be. But we started off rather timid. Traffic laws in Italy are rather suggestions than rules, so we were not totally sure how things were going to go. But after being passed by a couple of aggressive Italian drivers on a cliffside and a tiny windy road, you just kind of get used to it. The thing that surprised me the most was that the Amalfi Coast Road is the road. That's it. It's so vertical there that it's basically the only way to get around. And that means that the road is where people walk their dogs, where they go jogging, where they cycle. It's where people meet, it's where people hang out. It's how you get to shops. It's how deliveries are made. It's a pretty congested road, and we were in winter. I can't even imagine trying to do this during the height of tourism in summer. It'd be crazy. But luckily for us, we were able to experience the road almost unoccupied. We got a lot of great stretches to kind of wind out those little scooters. They're just 125 cc's, but when you wrench them wide open, it's so much fun. I mean, we probably were never doing more than 60 kilometers an hour tops, but that felt just so invigorating. And anytime you were stressed by somebody being aggressive or roadworks that were on the road, just look out to the Mediterranean. It was so relaxing and so enjoyable and so beautiful. Eventually we had to take a stop. And we just pulled over at some random location, get a coffee, and they had a rooftop terrace. Because of course they did. And they were sweet and kind people. They gave us cookies. I can't complain about anything. The views were amazing, and after that, we were even more energized to just keep going. It was a blast the whole way through. Each little town was a little pocket of color and experience, and sometimes traffic, sometimes aggression. But that didn't happen too much. We did get some tips from the locals in Sorrento not to stop in the city of Amalfi, but to continue up to Ravello, which is up on the side of a hill and overlooks a lot of the coast. That was probably my favorite destination. Once we got there, we stopped and explored. I might have driven the wrong way down a one-way street a couple of times, but it's Italy. Nobody minded. We did definitely go into the middle of the town square, which you're not allowed to go into. But again, it's Italy, so nobody really minded. It was a blast walking around those little alleyways and finding little vistas and just spending time exploring. That's always scratches my itch. I love to explore a new city. But Ravello's pretty tiny, and eventually we jumped back on the scooters and headed down to Amalfi. And then we were able to walk out and see some of the beaches and the water and the harbor. It was fantastic. There's also gelato. Can't say no to gelato. Definitely for me though, the best part was the ride back. I thought it was going to be boring. Usually out and back trips are not very exciting to me. You're just seeing the same stuff again. But on the way back, we were treated to the most wonderful sunset, and it lasted most of the entire ride. when we finally got to the end where we had to turn off of the coast road and go up over the pass to get back to Sorrento, it was already dark and cold, which left me a little sad. But still, this trip, this ride, sharing it with my friends, escaping the dark and dreary times of Seattle, and soaking up the sun of Italy, it's gonna live with me forever. It's just one of those memories that you make it and you're like, yeah, this is one of those ones that's gonna stick with me. So I wanted to share it. Hope you enjoyed the video.